Let's fix Sparking Zero. Now, when I say that, I don't actually mean that the game is like completely broken or that it was unfinished, as a lot of people say. I know for some people it can feel that way, but I mean, the game is still a good game overall, right? But there are things that can make it better. It can improve, and that's what we're here for, okay? As fans, as people that play the game, I mean, maybe not daily, because, you know, a lot of people did drop off the game, but, you know, for the remaining people that do play the game daily and have experienced this game for the most part, know the ins and outs of it, they can tell you what needs to be fixed or improved for certain things. Now, I think the game is in a pretty good state, or at least a much better state than it was on launch, but like I said, it could always be better. It can always improve, okay? Anything in life can, you know, improve, right? So I wanted to go over this. I guess it's like a document that was created a while back, and that's mainly going to be there for giving like ideas and stuff. But the reason why I wanted to do this share your experience type of survey thing, this is just going to be a personal thing. This isn't something that is actually available for Bandai. But they have a Bandai contact page, okay? Which I'm going to link all this down below for you guys. And I want you guys to submit, you know, things that you think could improve the game, okay? Even if it is like content-wise or update-wise, or even patches, like balancing and stuff. Like I said, I think the game's in a much better place. I can't really tell you what needs to be balanced. I'm not an online player, so that's why I'm going to leave it up to you guys to kind of go over that stuff. But don't be too crazy about it. Don't make it super lengthy. Try to keep it concise. Go over the most important things, right? Stuff that's vital for the game. Things that need to be changed or improved or added for the game so that it can, you know, increase the replayability of it, okay? What's going to make you come back to this game and want to play it every single day, or at least play it more consistently than, you know, a lot of people are now, okay? A lot of people don't even play the game that much anymore, right? So the reason I actually I'm making this video is because I was inspired by Creeps. Shout out to AreCreeps. This dude is still, you know, doing God's work with Sparking Zero and doing little changes for it in terms of mods, right? So he did a Sparking Zero stable battle camera mod showcase. Now this is one of those things where it's not gonna it's not like something that, oh, like we have to have for this game, right? It's like the camera is so bad I cannot play it. But there have been people that say like they don't really like that the camera it moves a bit too much. It's a little bit too shaky and stuff. And I get it, I understand. And this just gives you an example of how much nicer and smoother the experience is, right? The experience is very important. Again, for me, I'm not like saying like, oh, and he also added the BT3 like burst dash thing too, which is cool. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is one of those things that like, hey, it's not horrible, it's not ruining my experience, but something like this really can improve it and make me, you know, enjoy the battle and the gameplay a lot more, okay? Because in the OG Budokai games, or like the Tenkaichi games and stuff, it wasn't as shaky and like crazy, and the movement wasn't too much, and they have shown that they are taking the feedback like at heart and like genuine criticism for the game and trying to improve it. Like they added another camera mode that closes in on the actual characters, okay? It's a zoomed in more, so a little bit closer to how Budokai Tenkaichi was. They added sound effects, which it's not exactly like the OG Tenkaichi, but they added like newer sound effects that are, you know, a little bit closer, has a little bit more classic sound and feel to it, right? So it's stuff like this that they are doing in each update that definitely makes it, you know, a little bit more better. And like I said, it's after every patch, we've had like 3 or 4 patches now, I feel like. Each patch has definitely done good for the game. I haven't really seen too much negativity for the most recent patches, right? But again, I'll leave it up to you guys to comment down below, but like, just look how much smoother the gameplay looks. And some people might not notice it, and I know there are going to be probably a lot of people in my comments that are like, what changed? It looks exactly the same. But if you go and you play the game, you come back to this modded video, which I'm going to link Creeps', he has a full video showcase of it down below. He's got like a bloom effect on, you know, his mod and everything. Like, just go subscribe to him and go watch him. I'll link all his shit so that you can go check him out, because he has like a full video. This is just a small taste of kind of how it is, and he uses other characters and shit too. But yeah, like I'm saying, just an example of it. Adding that Z burst dash and stuff is really, really cool. This is, you know, something that I think would make the gameplay experience, you know, just a little bit better, right? So, we have this on here. This is a Reddit page. Now, this was a document that was also by Creeps and other people. They cleaned it up and stuff and had some different changes and improvements. So, this I'm going to link down below for you guys. It's just going to give you an idea, a general idea of things that people have talked about or, expressed their desire to change or add to the game, right? It's a very long document. There's I think this was submitted a while back already. So again, it's not, don't copy and just paste everything on your, Bandai little contact form or whatever. That's not necessary. Like I said, please keep it concise. The most important things that you think are necessary for this game's improvement, okay? And credits and shoutouts to Creeps, Avatar, DBZ Skills, Grandmaster Hawk, HSH. We have Jaiti, I think, Just Solid, Mo Piccolo, Phantom, Ponzuchan, Tech, and Zayad, okay? So they have a legend here, okay, a little key so that you can see what is something that needs to be fixed. It requires immediate attention. Okay, there's the yellow bar, which requires heavy consideration for the game's longevity. So something not something that needs to be super vital for the game, but something that will improve the longevity. So it is still important. And then this one in green can be implemented alongside the game's life cycle. So okay, this requires immediate attention. Is next update, next patch. This is something that needs to be fixed. Okay. And then the heavy consideration for the game's longevity, that can, be within the next, few months or whatever. And then in green, that's more when you get the chance, right? If you get the chance to do it, that would be great, right? So stuff like the gameplay, super counters, Z counters, perception. They even have little GIFs here. Or GIFs? How do you pronounce it? What is it? I still don't know. I've heard all types of things. I've always said a GIF. Actually, I think I might have said GIF. Fuck, whatever. But I digress. So, yeah, you can see it. They've have it color-coded here. The things that need to be improved, important stuff. Again, I'm not going to go over every single little detail, but they have, little GIFs for references and stuff. It's good. It's a good document that you can, look at to get ideas of okay, this is stuff that I haven't really noticed in game, but, now that you mention it, this would, improve it. And a lot of this is all going back to the OG Tenkaichi games. And I will say, it's this is a new game, and I understand OG Tenkaichi is what people like, but we're in the modern day. We can't, I don't think everything's it's not gonna be copy and paste from the original games, okay? It's a different game. It plays a little bit differently, and I think that's okay. I don't think that's it's the end of the world. It's we don't have to have it. It doesn't need to be exactly like OG Tenkaichi, okay? And you can see they've really catered a lot to the OG Tenkaichi fans because, those are the people that are really mainly playing the game, right? So I totally get that, aspect, and I understand that, but it's we can't go too crazy with it. You don't understand what I'm saying? It's not oh god, I gotta have it exactly the same. Just make a Tenkaichi remastered at that point. You know what I mean? This is Sparking Zero. It's supposed to be a sequel, right? It's supposed to be a new version of it. And whether you like how it plays or not, right? It is still meant to be a new game. But yeah, just going over it, there's a lot, man. There's 26 pages worth of this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So again, the stuff in green is more of just stuff that can be added at any point in time. And there could be stuff in here that maybe had already gotten fixed, right? This is a really important one that I'm just seeing right now. Customization should be added. Should add a color wheel for all the characters, okay? I've talked about that before. Xenoverse 2 has that feature. It is a little bit restrictive, and that's understandable. You can't be able to change the skin tone and everything, but we don't even have character color alts. You remember in the old games you had that? Even that would have been a nice little addition, right? But this, for example, in the character select, being able to change Broly's tunic cloth thing or his pants color, okay, would be nice. Okay, Goku, I would like to maybe invert the gi, right? I would like to have the outside to be blue and the inside to be orange. There have been games I think it's Burst Limit, for example, in the past that had that as a color alt, and being able to change that and have that customization is a big thing, man. It's a huge thing. It's not changing the game, right? It's a very small minor change, but I understand there's fucking over 200 characters, right? So I get that that is a lot of work for every character, but with time and with a little bit of effort, it can be done, right? And right now, I know for a fact that they're really just trying to focus on what their quota is, and that's making DLC characters. So that's fine, but I'm talking about after this DLC drops for DLC Pack 3, the final Diamond Pack. This is the last one for the Season Pass, right? I personally think, and again, there are other characters that I want to see eventually in the future, but I think they should take some time to take a step back. And at that point, they're not really, unless, you know, Bandai's commissioning them for shit more, like, you know, Spike's like, oh, we want to go focus on DLC. And at that point, Bandai needs to back off, right? They just need to back off and let Spike cook. And what I mean by that is give them some time to breathe and then eventually come back and fix or improve the game via just updates, right? Like stuff like, oh, expanded customization, new stages and stuff. Like that kind of stuff is really important right now in terms of content. If they want to add some new game modes, that would be awesome, right? And again, that's why I see people say like, oh, the game was unfinished and stuff, but it's like, I don't even know, was it even their intention to improve or add some of that stuff? I think they just did a lot of changes mainly because of the feedback, because of what people said. They've been very good about that. I have not seen a dev company, you know, for video games like this. I mean, I don't play a ton of video games, but like when it comes to like Dragon Ball games, Spike Chunsoft has by far been one of the best companies and, you know, devs that have been in tune with the community and have shown that they care and they want to fix things, okay? And some people will be like, oh, we'll disagree because they're like, oh, they didn't add new stages and they didn't fix customization and shit. It's like, well, that's a little bit different. That's, you know, like actual like added content. I'm talking about like balancing for the game, patches that, you know, little tiny quality of life improvements, like little things, right? So that's the kind of stuff that I'm referring to that should be focused or, you know, have more of a fixation on after this DLC ends, because they're not, at that point, I mean, I would assume they're not required to make DLC characters, because the DLC characters, it takes a lot of work. That's why it got delayed. That's why it's taken months for them to make it, like 3 months, 4 months at times to create a new DLC pack. And I know there are several characters in there, okay? There's a lot, but like that's it. It's just been characters. There hasn't really been anything else. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'll link this down below, get some ideas, and then submit a little thing. You can just submit a request on here. So you click on that and it'll open up this new tab. Make sure you have a Bandai Namco ID account. I'm sure most of y'all have it, because most of y'all probably have it linked up via Xenoverse or Breakers or Dragon Ball Legends, for example. And then you just submit a console game case, right? Don't do any of these other ones. You can always do a chat too. There's a little chat. I mean, my head, I think, is covering it. That's the chat. I would say is something that is something more immediate. So I would just focus on submitting a console game case, and then you select your video game that you want to choose. You choose Sparking Zero, for example, and again, my head might be covering it, so I do apologize. And then you would put in, I think it's like your character profile ID or whatever, and then like, you know, whatever it is that you want to change. And like I said, keep it concise, keep it very simple. Like for me, if I were to submit it, I'd just be like, hey, you know, I mean, the things that I personally really care about is, hey, if you guys wouldn't mind focusing more on adding more stages, video game modes, like actual game modes, and what I mean game modes, I mean like even like some more offline content, you know what I mean? Because like the only thing you can do right now is custom battle mode or PvP, which is online, okay? So one is an offline, which can be I guess it does require online if you want to play other people's, right? So most of it is online, right? It requires online. So like I would like a survival mode or like an arcade mode or something like that. Like tournament mode you can do as well, right? But it's like at that point, it's just like, you know, it's just like the same stuff over and over again. You know what I mean? Like try to expand it, make some other modes that were in the original games, or get creative, right? Get creative and make some other things. It's like, I feel like they did custom battle mode as a way to, I don't want to say be lazy about it, but like, hey, we'll make custom battle mode so you have the freedom to do whatever you want and make that into your own thing. So if you want to make it into a survival mode, I guess kind of, but like I want something that's like 100 battles, right? 100 battle survivor mode. How far can you get? Like a full tower. You know what I mean? Like you climb the tower. Like Dragon Ball Legends has something like that, right? At times. Just stuff like that, okay? And like I said, the customization, the stages, you know, that kind of stuff. But if there are in-game changes, like for example, that camera shake improvement and stuff, you can always do that as well, okay? I really love this game, guys. I really love this game. I care about this game. I think it's a fantastic game, okay? But, you know, there are things that can make it really, really good and even better. And I think that with enough, you know, feedback from people, and again, don't spam them. That's another thing, okay? Like I said, keep it concise. Don't spam. Be as serious and professional about this as you can, okay? Don't just be like, fuck you guys. You didn't change any of this stuff. But, like, you know, be respectful in there. And it's like, I don't even know how much of this is getting to, like, the actual devs. You know what I mean? But I think when enough people, because it has been shown, there's the proof is there. When enough people voice their opinions on something, right? On something that's like really important, and then they can view and be like, hey, you know, this would actually fix this game, and we'll take it in consideration, and then we'll actually fix it in the next update. They've shown it before. After all these updates that they've had for the game, they've shown a lot of promise for trying to, you know, improve stuff that people really have asked about. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see some good stuff in the next patch, you know, maybe some improvements. Who knows? You know, who knows what could happen. We did do a survey, right? This was straight from the survey, this image right here, which the survey's closed, right? But like I said, you know, they took a lot of stuff into consideration, but a lot of other stuff they haven't really, you know, looked into, right? So I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.